and welcome. I'm Selena Mead with the Vsb TV 11 Evening News on this Monday, March the 31st. At the top of tonight's news, American citizens thinking of traveling to Bermuda are being warned by the U.S. consulate in Hamilton that the dumping of raw sewage in the ocean around the island is contaminating the beaches and creating a public health hazard that requires hepatitis A and typhoid vaccinations. The widely circulating email claims that a survey conducted in 2013 by local and overseas agencies had found that as many as 5 beaches were unfit for recreational use, but that a year later, the Bermuda government had done nothing to stop the dumping. The alarming statement from the U.S. consulate says the bacterial contamination was up to 4 times the acceptable U.S. standard, and this could cause gastroenteritis, ear infection, respiratory illnesses, and staph infections. BIOS and several Bermuda government departments were among the agencies who took part in the survey. In other news, Minister of Works and Engineering Patricia Gordon-Pamplin told Vsb News that she is extremely sympathetic to the inconvenience that keeping the swing bridge in St. George's will cause to both tour operators and business owners. However, Minister Gordon-Pamplin says the decision to close the bridge to allow for repair work is something that must be done.
The maintenance schedule for the swing bridge has not been kept up to date over the past couple of years, and as a result the maintenance is behind. What that has done is to create a challenge for the mechanism of the bridge. Unfortunately, the engineers have had a look, and it is necessary to close it while proper repairs are being made. What the requests have been is, can we not keep it open for the summer and then close it to work on it when in the downtime? As much as I would like to, and as sympathetic as I am to the tour boat operators who use that access point to get from Grotto Bay into St. George's Harbor, the challenge that we have is, given the state of the mechanics of the bridge, that if we open it, it may end up not being able to close again. And then we would have some very, very unhappy people on both sides of the bridge unable to get access or egress. We certainly would not want that to happen. Logistically, it doesn't make sense to have the bridge to run the risk of the bridge opening and not being able to close back. So as much as it is inconvenient, it makes sense to close the bridge, effect the repairs. We do have the ability for boat operators at the moment. They can actually go around the head and come into St. George's Harbor. They are probably less inclined to do so, but that certainly is a possibility. But to have marine traffic disrupt the regular ebb and flow of land traffic would be, it really would be irresponsible to open the bridge.
After years of ignoring public concern at the growth of public signage erected illegally across the island, the government has finally issued a warning that the Department of Planning is about to begin a crackdown which will see such signs removed. The Ministry of Human Affairs, which has planning in its portfolio, said today that a hotline for public complaints of illegal signage has been established at 599-5902. In Vsb News, Brian Darby has more details.
The ministry said today it had received an increase in calls from the public expressing their concern regarding excessive signage around the island, some going so far as to call it visual pollution. As a result, government thought it would be helpful to remind the public and businesses of the legal regulations regarding sign advertising. First, the public should be aware that any advertising sign erected on land owned by the government and controlled by either the Department of Parks or the Department of Works and Engineering is not permitted and will be removed. The most immediate impact will be visible along East Broadway and other entrances into Hamilton, where it is now commonplace to see announcements of upcoming events. Advertising signs displayed on these strips of land will be removed by either a Parks or Works and Engineering crew. Secondly, the control of advertising signs incorrectly erected on private land will be addressed by the Department of Planning. This applies to freestanding signs, flutter flags, neon signs and oversized signs attached to buildings. Government encourages any business or any private landowner who is considering putting up outdoor signage and advertising or wishes to check compliance of their existing signs to visit the Department of Planning's website to view the guidelines and the Act in its entirety. Information regarding signs and advertising can be found by the public at www.planning.gov.bm. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
Thank you, Brian. A second man has been charged with the premeditated murder of Gary Fingers Can. 38-year-old Jermaine Simmons appeared in magistrate court this morning, but was not required to enter a plea to the charge of murdering Mr. Can and using a firearm to commit an indictable offense, as the matter is indictable and must be heard in the Supreme Court. Mr. Can was gunned down in Sandys Parish on December 15, 2009, while he stood outside his girlfriend's home on Sound Road. Previously, Zakai Can was charged with the same offense and he pleaded not guilty. Simmons was remanded in custody and will reappear in court on April the 14th. Bermuda learned this morning of the death of former Premier Sir David Gibbons at the age of 85. David Gibbons became Bermuda's third Premier after Sir Edward Richards and Sir John Sharp, and was the immediate predecessor to Bermuda's longest-serving Premier, Sir John Swan. He was knighted in 1983. VSB's Chris Lodge has more on the life of Sir David.
He's being hailed as a sound financier, a politician and humanitarian. Last night, Premier Craig Cannonier called Sir David a man of great accomplishment, a political leader during a time of turbulence and change, a renowned businessman who succeeded both here at home and abroad, and a philanthropist whose generosity benefited many. Governor George Ferguson saying Sir David made an astonishing contribution across a broad sweep of Bermuda's political and business life, and in both helped set the foundations for much of Bermuda's prosperity. Sir David Gibbons was a successful businessman. He served as finance minister and who led the country between 1977 and 1982 as United Bermuda Party Premier. Sir John Swan, who served under Sir David as Minister of Home Affairs and who succeeded him as Premier, is quoted in the Royal Gazette as saying, quote, "We are going to miss one of our icons. I served under him when he was Premier, and he laid the foundations of things I was able to do and complete after he had left." Two major events cast a shadow over Sir David's premiership. The December 1977 riots following the execution of Erskine Buck Burroughs and Larry Tacklin for the assassination of Governor Sir Richard Sharples, and a general strike in 1981 which brought the island to a standstill. Possibly Sir David's last stab at politics was in 2011 when he told a Caribbean news magazine that Bermuda's PLP government is simply not competent and that the island's reinsurance industry is, quote, very healthy. I'm Chris Lodge, VSB News.
Thank you, Chris. Still ahead is Rachel Sodden with the weather preview. Thanks, Lena. Breezy and cooler for a couple of days. On the radar, still a lot of activity, so expect a couple of showers overnight. But please stay tuned for the full weather report as we take a look at the week ahead.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb TV 11.
Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday, on 41 Victoria Street in Hamilton for your home appliance and hardware needs. Sears, washers and dryers, refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, a large array of Craftsman tools and accessories, lawn and garden tools, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, barbecue grills, and much, much more. Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday. Sears, bringing Bermuda the best variety at everyday low prices.
With Cell One, you simply get more. More 4G speed and reliability across the island. More warranty coverage from the only carrier authorized to resell Apple iPhones in Bermuda. More first-class service with our 24/7 customer care, whether you're in-store, on the phone, or online. More services, mobile phones, long distance, and home internet, all with one company. Get more with one. Cell One.
April is Environmental Awareness Month, and VSB TV 11 is airing relevant documentaries exploring environmental issues concerning all of us on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. for the month of April. Sponsored by Auto Solutions, Roll With Us, Belco, The Power to Save, and Lindo's, Why Go Anyplace Else? Environmental Awareness Month on VSB TV 11. Peter Javedic is the host of Season to Taste. The second series starts on Tuesday, the 15th of April, when Peter will be helping some of Bermuda's finest chefs with their recipes. An exclusive presentation of Lindo's. There'll also be the Wine of the Week, specially selected wines from Gosling's. Season to Taste is featured during the Vsb Tv 11 evening news at 7:30, 8:30 and midnight on Tuesdays, starting the 15th of April.
Welcome back to VSB Television News. Quite a surprise on Saturday morning. Area residents of Smiths gathered on John Smith's Bay to examine a sunfish that had washed up on the shore. The dead fish was quite a sight and extremely large in size. VSB News spoke with personnel at the Bermuda Aquarium, Marine and Zoo, and they indicated that there was no obvious signs of injury on the fish and it appeared to be in healthy condition. The suspected cause of death is exhaustion. It is thought that when the sunfish came up to the surface to feed it, found itself inside the boiler line on the south shore and was unable to find its way out, which more than likely led the fish to become exhausted and subsequently banging onto the shallow shoreline. Sunfish are the largest bony fish species and can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. In fact, a bulldozer had to be brought to John Smith's Bay to get the fish off of the beach. Sunfish primarily feast on jellyfish. Sunfish live in tropical and temperate waters, and to be able to see one, you'll likely have to find it in the wild, as they're very difficult to keep in captivity. In fact, the Monterey Bay Aquarium is the only aquarium in the U.S. to have live ocean sunfish. Tourism Minister Sean Crockwell and Minister of Youth and Sports Wayne Scott had a first-hand look at the remarkable success of this year's Grey Goose Par 3 World Golf Championship on Sunday and told VSB News' Brian Darby that they found it very inspirational.
As you know, we want to focus on golf going forward. We want Bermuda to be known as a golf destination and to have a well-organized tournament such as this, the Grey Goose tournament, being held at a fantastic golf course like the Turtle Hill course is fantastic for Bermuda. I understand that the golfers found it very challenging. I was speaking to a couple of the pros and they were very surprised at how difficult the course was. So it bodes well for golf in Bermuda, and so we're really pleased with the outcome of this tournament.
Now this will link, of course, with the Open, and then this will become quite a major event in the future. Absolutely.
I think individuals like Anthony Marklow deserve a great deal of credit for the hard work he put into putting this on, but we have to have more events like this. Obviously we have the PGA coming toward the end of the year, but if we want to market Bermuda as a golf destination, we have to have opportunities to showcase the golf that we have here and let the world know that if you want to have beautiful golf, challenging golf, Bermuda is the place to be.
This is quite an experiment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think, as the minister said, I mean, this is great. I mean, this golf course was, I believe, just recognized as one of the top 5 par 3 championships in the world. And you know, it's a great event. Fortunately, the weather or the rain held off, but with the wind, it makes it extraordinarily challenging. And you know, we've got a great feel here, and I think our Bermudians have done well. So again, I think that we want to utilize international sports in Bermuda more. It's important not only for our economy but for our local athletes and the such. So this is a great event.
Now let's take a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. The daily markets presented by Bias. Stocks in the U.S. rallied, rising the most in 2 weeks, and the dollar fell as the Federal Reserve Chair, Janet Yellen, stated that the U.S. economy will need further support. U.S. stocks climbed as the Fed signaled continued monetary support and tensions appear to have eased in the Ukraine. The S&P rose 0.86% to close at 1,872, while the Nasdaq added 1.1%. 100,500 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded hands today. The stock closed at $1.98, unchanged on the day. Other Bermuda-related stocks posted gains in line with U.S. stocks. European stocks declined, extending their monthly drop as investors await U.S. economic data and the ECB's interest rate decision. Most of the Asian stocks rose, with the Nikkei posting a gain of 0.9%.
its largest gain in 3 weeks to close at 14,828. The gain came as exporters posted gains on account of a weaker yen. Latin American indices advanced on the day. Brazilian stocks rallied as optimism over Chinese economic stimulus and U.S. Fed chair comments helped the Vsb index extend a recent rally. Prices on U.S. 2-year Treasury notes rose, pushing yields down as the Fed reinforced the need for extraordinary commitment to support the U.S. economy. The U.S. 10-year Treasury yield rose 1 basis point to 2.73%. The dollar declined versus most of its peers on Fed's announcement. The pound sterling rose 0.22% versus the U.S. dollar on expectations that data this week will show that the UK economy is recovering. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. People and Places is next after the break.
Price Right on Mill Reach offers you warehouse shopping for bulk and value price groceries, frozen foods and health and beauty items, home furnishings, dinnerware and carpets for your bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen, bikes, toys, and activity sets for kids, teens and tweens, electronics and home and audio-visual accessories. Visit Price Right. Always something new and always something for everyone. Open 9 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 1 to 6 on Sundays.
Bermuda is an easy way to find great discounts while discovering fun activities to do in Bermuda. Discover the best spas, restaurants, activities, services, and shops at 50% off. Sign up to Bermuda and start saving today.
People and Places is next with Charles Webb.
People and Places with Charles Webb is brought to you by Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Yoga is a lot more popular in Bermuda than even I imagined. Here at the Yoga Center, Francis Marshall, the instructor, tells me about the upcoming Yoga Festival and the benefits that can be derived from this ancient art.
The Yoga Festival is kind of one of the biggest things we've ever done in Bermuda around yoga. So we're going to have 42 classes or talks that people can choose from, and they're going to range from doing the physical hatha yoga practices to learning how to breathe properly. And the classes are for beginners as well as for more advanced students who want a good workout. So we have 11 presenters coming from the U.S., each one with a different style, and they're going to be offering quite a variety of classes for people to choose from. There are a lot of studies, both in Britain and in America, on the benefit of yoga to both the body and the mind. And there have been hospitals in the U.S. in particular who have done a major study. One hospital in Texas back in the 70s did a study on yoga and heart disease with Dr. Dean Ornish. And as a result of that study, major centers opened up in many hospitals in the United States, 10 to 12 hospitals, where they had his particular program. What they did is they taught people yoga, the hatha yoga practices, meditation, diet, and exercise, of course. And then they tested the results. And this went over about a 20-year period. And they did find that it had a very, very positive effect on treating heart disease.
How does yoga affect the mind?
The way that yoga affects the mind is that it calms and clears the mind. And one might say, well, why do we want to do that? But we all know how busy the mind is, and we're just inundated with thoughts about what we have to do next, what we just did, and where we're going. So what yoga does is it helps you to quiet the mind down so that you have a moment to be able to think about what's right in front of you. And you can then sort of kind of wait and see and make decisions without rushing into them. So meditation calms the mind, and it really brings us into the present moment. That's the most important aspect of it.
How much physical strength is required?
None if you're a new beginner. So yoga, people come to yoga at all ages. We have a class for beginners, we have classes for overweight people, we have classes for people with osteoporosis. So there's no specific health requirements for starting yoga.
How many people do you know practice yoga in Bermuda?
In Bermuda, interesting. I would say probably a couple of thousand, maybe up to 2,000 people, because we have the gyms teaching yoga, we have the centers, individual teachers. The Bermuda College has a great program for seniors teaching yoga. So there's quite a lot of yoga in Bermuda.
So if you had a wish list, you would wish that everybody took yoga?
I think we'd be a lot happier.
Here at the Yoga Center with instructor Francis Marshall, for People and Places, I'm Charles Webb, Vsb News.
People and Places with Charles Webb has been brought to you by Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Want for much more furniture? Then shop at Big Savings Zone. Their prices are guaranteed, not estimates. Have you ever ordered something online expecting it to be a certain price, but when it arrives, it ends up being a whole lot more? Beware of those unexpected hidden fees. That never happens at Big Savings Zone. Their prices include all charges landed in Bermuda, so there's no surprises when your order arrives. Why settle for imitations? Shop at Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
And welcome back in sports tonight, with two young Bermudian golf pros tying for second place behind British senior golf legend Mark Mullen in this weekend's 36-hole par 3 World Golf Championship at Turtle Hill Golf Club in Southampton. The fifth playing of the event took on a storybook appeal for spectators and players alike. For Michael Sims, who splits the $18,000 cash prize, it was a lot of fun, and for Kamiko Smith, a Bermuda PGA player, it will serve as a major inspiration as he returns to Orlando to continue his fledgling career. After two putting to his one-stroke victory in a blustery wind off the sea and earning $20,000 for the effort, Mark Mullen gave credit to his survival instincts.
Well, the wind gusting, and you know, you're indecisive on the tee. You don't know whether it's into you, left to right, right to left. You don't know how strong. So you've got three different clubs in your head, and it's really guesswork. I've been brought up in playing in a lot of wind, so I played a lot of low, punchy shots. Yeah. Still got it wrong a couple of times there on the back nine, 3 and 2 bogeys. But you know, that's just the way the course is and the way the weather is. It was survival out there today. You know, you knew par on every hole was a good score. Nobody's going to be making many birdies. You know, and I guess that comes probably with experience, just hanging in there till the end. Well, do you know what? If I tell you I didn't hole a putt over 4 feet the last 2 days, I haven't holed anything today. I made one birdie, which was a chip in, which was very lucky on the 4th. And I really haven't holed anything. 4 feet is my longest, so I played really steady golf, and yeah, that's all I could do in the conditions. That's all it made you do is play steady, you know. You know, there's no heroics. If you need 2 putts, take them. You know, my dad always told me that. And then 18, just left of the pin, hit a good shot there. I think he got a pretty big bounce, but still good shot. And just, you know, try and 2-putt if you can, which I managed to do.
And then it was the turn of the two Bermudians to describe what the high finish performances will mean to them. Michael Sims being followed by Kamiko Smith.
You're the local hero. How do you think you did today?
Well, I played quite well today. I shot even par. I got off to a really good start. Birdied 1, 2, and backed them up with bogeys on, what is it now? 4 and 5, I think. I remember the golf course backwards. So, but I played well overall. I mean, I can't complain.
This was probably one of the most outstanding performances locals have seen of you. But this is your career, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Yeah.
What else are you doing now? You're working
right now
in Florida?
No, yeah, I'm in Orlando right now, pursuing my golf career full time. Just taking it head on, just chasing my dream.
So you put your life into this?
I have.
And how did today go?
My day went great. It was a grind out there. I messed up on my first 2 holes. bogey double, and then just grind it back on the front nine. Back nine, sorry. Had a birdie on 10, and then I birdied the uphill one as well.
Do you love this game?
I love it.
You like par 3?
Pardon?
You like par 3?
Yeah, I love it a lot as well.
And to further delight the local golfing fraternity, the Island's Mark Phillips claimed the amateur title with 109 total while placing 4th overall. The weather report is next after the break.
Choose to be healthy, Bermuda. Get out there and exercise with a sunscreen hat and shirt on every day. Eat healthy, don't smoke, and check your brown spots once a month to detect skin cancer early. Anything growing darker, bigger, jagged borders needs to be checked. Wear your sunscreen hat and shirt every day. Be sun safe, Bermuda.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend, and welcome to tonight's VSB weather forecast. Our weather shot is brought to us by Kyle Wheatley, taken at 4:20 this afternoon in Smiths. It was a blustery day, and Kyle captured the clouds just after we got a peak of sunshine, and it started to rain again. It rained this morning, being a bit of scumbag weather, just raining when people are trying to get to and from work. But thank you, Kyle, for sending this shot in. Temperatures for today, we had a high of 71 at 8 in the morning and a low of 62 at 9 in the morning. Current conditions, 66 degrees, humidity 70%, winds westerly at 24 knots, and barometric pressure is falling at 29.77 inches. Rainfall index the month of March, 4.75 for a yearly total of 19.06. Yearly normal for this time is 14.75 inches. And looking at the satellite, strong westerly winds will remain over the area tonight and Tuesday with brief showers around as a deep low passes very slowly well to our north. Mainly fair and breezy conditions hold in place Wednesday with easing winds Thursday as high pressure slowly builds in from the west. And looking at the gateway cities, Atlanta partly cloudy 76, Boston partly cloudy and 46, Charlotte partly cloudy 78, London mostly cloudy and 68, Miami 79, mostly sunny, New York 59, mostly sunny, Orlando 83, also mostly sunny, Philadelphia 62, partly cloudy, Toronto partly cloudy and 41, Washington also partly cloudy at 67 degrees. Back at home tonight, mostly cloudy with a few showers and a low near 61, winds west-southwest 24 to 34 knots, and then veering west-northwest overnight. And tomorrow, sunny breaks with 1 or 2 morning showers and a high near 64. Winds northwest 22 to 28 knots, and then decreasing to 18 to 22 knots overnight. For rain tonight, we've got a small craft warning. Seas inside the reef 2 to 4 feet. Seas outside the reef 8 to 13 feet. And the sea surface temperature is 65 degrees. For rain tomorrow, small craft warning continues with seas inside the reef 2 to 4 feet. Seas outside the reef 9 to 15 feet. High tide will be at 10:23 in the morning, and low tide will be at 4:17 in the afternoon. And looking at the 5-day forecast, Wednesday, mostly cloudy, decreasing afternoon clouds with a high near 63. Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, high near 66. Friday, partly cloudy with a high near 69. And Saturday, also partly cloudy with a high near 71. Thank you to Jeff Turgeson, our meteorologist for tonight, and everyone at the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Rachel Sodden. Have a great evening.
And we thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us at VSB TV 11. Good night, Bermuda.
Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sodden, provided by Gibbons Company.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.